First contact and misunderstanding. The starship Curiosity drifted silently through the inky void, its sleek hull reflecting the distant starlight. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the swirling, ethereal form of the wormhole before them. This was it, humanity's first venture beyond their solar system, made possible by the accidental discovery of stable wormhole creation just 5 years prior. "All systems are go, Captain," reported Lieutenant Aiden Chen from his station. "We're ready to make the jump." Elena took a deep breath, feeling the weight of history on her shoulders. "Initiate wormhole traversal, Lieutenant. Let's see what's on the other side." The Curiosity surged forward, enveloped by the shimmering energies of the wormhole. For a moment that seemed to stretch into eternity, the ship and its crew existed in a realm beyond normal space-time. Then, with a flash of light and a surge of gravitational forces, they emerged. "Status report," Elena called out, steadying herself against her command chair. "All systems operational, Captain," Aiden responded, his fingers dancing across his console. "We've successfully traversed the wormhole and wait." He paused, his eyes widening. "I'm detecting multiple large objects in nearby space. They're ships, Captain. We're not alone out here." Elena's heart raced. First contact. This changed everything. "Open a channel on all frequencies," she ordered. "Let's hope they're friendly." Before they could broadcast a message, a beam of light enveloped the Curiosity. The crew tensed, expecting the worst, but instead of weapons fire, a melodious voice filled the bridge. "Greetings, travelers. We are the Galactic Confederation, and we welcome you to the cosmic community." The tension on the bridge eased slightly, replaced by a mix of excitement and apprehension. Elena stepped forward. "This is Captain Elena Reyes of the Earth ship Curiosity. We come in peace and friendship." What followed was a whirlwind of introductions and explanations. The Galactic Confederation, it turned out, was a loose alliance of spacefaring species that had been watching Earth for centuries, waiting for humanity to develop wormhole technology, the universal indicator of a species ready for galactic citizenship. Within hours, Elena and a small delegation from the Curiosity found themselves aboard the massive Confederation flagship, the Harmony of Spheres. They sat in a grand chamber, surrounded by alien dignitaries of various shapes and sizes. At the head of the table sat High Counselor Zixara, a being with shimmering energy barely contained within a humanoid form. "We have long observed your species," Zixara began, its voice a symphony of harmonic tones. "Your arrival here marks a significant moment for both humanity and the Confederation. However, we must admit to some concerns." Elena frowned. "Concerns, High Counselor. We assure you, we come with peaceful intentions." Zixara's form rippled, a gesture that Elena interpreted as discomfort. "Your intentions, yes. It is your nature that worries us. Our studies of Earth history reveal a species prone to violence, conflict, and self-destruction. Your databases speak of endless wars, of weapons capable of devastating entire planets." The human delegation exchanged uneasy glances. It was true that humanity's past was far from perfect, but they had made great strides in recent centuries. "With all due respect, High Counselor," Elena began, choosing her words carefully. "While our history does contain violence, it also shows our capacity for growth, cooperation, and peace. The unified Earth government that sent us here is a testament to how far we've come." Another alien, a reptilian being called Saf, leaned forward. "Yet you still maintain military forces, do you not? Your ship, while not heavily armed, has defensive capabilities. Why would a peaceful species need such things?" Elena felt a flicker of frustration. How could she explain the complexities of human nature to these beings? "We believe in being prepared, yes, but our primary drives are curiosity and the desire to learn. That's why we're here, to explore and to understand." The discussion continued for hours, with the Confederation representatives probing into various aspects of human culture and history. They seemed particularly troubled by humanity's rapid technological advancement and their ability to adapt quickly to new situations. As the meeting drew to a close, Zixara addressed the human delegation once more. "We welcome you to the Galactic community, but with reservations. You will be granted observer status within the Confederation, but full membership will depend on your species proving its peaceful nature over time." It wasn't the wholesale welcome they had hoped for, but it was a start. As Elena and her team prepared to return to the Curiosity, however, alarms blared throughout the harmony of spheres. A frantic aide rushed into the chamber. "High Counselor, we've received a distress call from the Pelori system. They're under attack." Zixara's form pulsed with concern. The Void Eaters, they finally made their move. Elena stepped forward. "High Counselor, if there's a threat to the Confederation, Earth stands ready to help. Let us prove ourselves through action, not just words." The energy being regarded her for a long moment. "Very well, Captain Reyes. You may accompany our response fleet as observers. But be warned, the Void Eaters are unlike anything your species has ever encountered. They do not seek conquest or resources, but the very extinction of all other life." As Elena and her crew rushed back to the Curiosity, she couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and dread. Humanity had dreamed of finding other life among the stars for centuries. Now, not only had they made first contact, but they were about to be thrust into an interstellar conflict. The Curiosity fell into formation with the Confederation fleet as they prepared to jump to the Pelori system. Elena stood on her bridge, watching the alien ships maneuver with grace and precision. "Well, team," she addressed her crew, "it looks like we're about to get a crash course in galactic politics. Whatever happens next, remember why we're out here: to learn, to explore, and to represent the best of humanity. Let's show the Confederation what we're really made of." As the fleet engaged their wormhole drives, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of a much larger adventure, one that would challenge everything humanity thought they knew about themselves and their place in the universe. The looming threat. The Curiosity emerged from the wormhole alongside the Confederation fleet, the serene beauty of the Pelori system immediately shattered by the chaos of battle. Captain Elena Reyes gasped at the sight before her. Massive, pitch-black ships that seemed to absorb light itself were tearing through the system's defenses with terrifying ease. "Those must be the Void Eaters," Lieutenant Aiden Chen said, his voice barely above a whisper. Elena nodded grimly. "Tactical analysis, Lieutenant. What are we dealing with?" Aiden's fingers flew across his console. The Void Eater ships appear to be using some kind of energy-draining technology. They're literally sucking the power out of the Pelori ships. Our sensors are having trouble getting clear readings. It's like they're partly out of phase with normal space-time. The comm system crackled to life, and High Counselor Zixara's harmonious voice filled the bridge. "Captain Reyes, please maintain your position at the rear of our formation. This conflict is beyond your current capabilities." Elena bristled at the dismissal, but held her tongue. For now, observation was their best course of action. "Understood, High Counselor. We'll stay back and analyze the battle." As the Confederation fleet engaged the Void Eaters, it quickly became apparent that they were outmatched. The energy weapons of the Confederation ships seemed to have little effect on the phase-shifted hulls of the enemy vessels. Meanwhile, the Void Eaters' draining beams were decimating ship after ship. "This is a slaughter," Elena muttered, her fists clenched at her sides. "There has to be something we can do." Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the ship's chief scientist, spoke up from her station. "Captain, I've been analyzing the energy patterns of the Void Eater ships. There's something familiar about the frequency they're using to phase shift." "Familiar how, Doctor?" Yuki's eyes lit up with excitement. "It's similar to the harmonic resonance we use in our wormhole drive. If we could modify our deflector dish to emit a counter-frequency, we might be able to disrupt their phasing and make them vulnerable." Elena finished, a smile spreading across her face. "Excellent work, Dr. Tanaka. Get on it immediately." As Yuki and her team worked frantically to modify the deflector dish, the battle continued to rage. The Confederation forces were being pushed back, their lines breaking under the relentless assault of the Void Eaters. "Captain," Aiden called out, "I'm picking up a transmission from one of the Pelori ships. It's a distress call. They're evacuating a research station, but they're cut off by the Void Eaters." Elena made a split-second decision. "Plot an intercept course, Lieutenant. We're going in." "But Captain," Aiden protested, "the High Counselor ordered us to stay back." And let innocent civilians die." Elena shook her head. "Not a chance. Sometimes you have to break the rules to do what's right. Engage impulse engines, full speed." The Curiosity streaked across the battlefield, weaving between the massive capital ships. As they approached the beleaguered Pelori vessel, they got their first close-up look at a Void Eater ship. It was like staring into the heart of a black hole, a darkness so complete it hurt to look at. "Deflector modifications complete," Captain, Yuki reported. "Excellent timing, Doctor. Target that Void Eater ship and fire the deflector pulse on my mark." The Void Eater vessel loomed before them, its draining beam reaching out towards the Pelori ship like tendrils of night. Fire. A brilliant burst of energy erupted from the Curiosity's deflector dish, washing over the Void Eater ship. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, like a mirage fading in the desert, the phase shift effect flickered and died. "Their shields are down," Aiden shouted. "They're vulnerable." Elena didn't hesitate. "Fire all weapons. Aim for their propulsion systems." The Curiosity's phasers and photon torpedoes streaked towards the suddenly solid form of the Void Eater ship. Without its phase shift protection, the enemy vessel's hull buckled under the assault. Explosions blossomed along its surface, and it listed to one side, its draining beams sputtering out. "The Pelori ship is clear," Captain, Aiden reported. "They're transmitting their thanks." Before Elena could respond, the comm system crackled again. This time, it was Sath, the Reptilian Confederation officer. "Human vessel, explain your actions immediately. You were ordered to remain at the rear." Elena took a deep breath. "Confederation Command, this is Captain Reyes. We've discovered a way to neutralize the Void Eater's phase shift technology. Transmitting data now. I suggest you modify your fleet's deflectors immediately if you want to win this battle." There was a long pause, and Elena could almost feel the shock and disbelief radiating from the Confederation ships. Finally, Zixara's voice came through. "Your assistance is appreciated, Captain Reyes. We will implement your modifications, but do not think this excuses your disobedience. Once this battle is concluded, we will discuss your actions." As the Confederation fleet began to turn the tide against the Void Eaters, Elena allowed herself a small smile. They had made a difference, saved lives, and possibly changed the course of the war. But she knew that the real battle, the battle for understanding between humans and the Confederation, was far from over. Hours later, with the Void Eaters in full retreat and the Pelori system secured, Elena found herself once again in the grand chamber aboard the Harmony of Spheres. This time, however, the atmosphere was decidedly different. "Your actions were reckless, Captain Reyes," Zixara began, its energy form pulsing with barely contained emotion. "You disobeyed direct orders and put yourselves in grave danger." "With all due respect, High Counselor," Elena replied, standing tall, "we saw an opportunity to save lives and turn the tide of battle. Where I come from, that's called initiative." Sath hissed softly. "Where you come from, you also call it insubordination. This only proves our concerns about your species' volatile nature." Elena felt her patience wearing thin. "Our volatile nature just saved a lot of lives today. Yes, humanity has a history of conflict, but it's that very history that drives us to find creative solutions, to push boundaries, to refuse to accept defeat. We don't seek out war, but when faced with a threat to innocent lives, we don't hesitate to act." A new voice joined the conversation. "Calix, a Pelori scientist who had been rescued from the research station. "If I may, High Counselor, I believe the humans have demonstrated great courage and ingenuity today. Their quick thinking saved my people when all seemed lost." Zixara's form rippled in what Elena was beginning to recognize as deep thought. "Your point is taken, Calix. Captain Reyes, while your methods are unorthodox by our standards, we cannot deny the results. Your species has shown a remarkable ability to adapt and innovate in crisis." "That's what humans do best," Elena said with a smile. "We see problems as challenges to overcome, not insurmountable obstacles." "Perhaps," Zixara conceded, "we have been too hasty in our judgment of humanity. It seems there is much we can learn from each other. However, this incident with the Void Eaters is far from over. Our long-range sensors indicate they are regrouping for a larger assault." Elena straightened, feeling the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders once more. "Then Earth stands ready to help, High Counselor. We may be new to the galactic stage, but we've faced existential threats before. Together, I believe we can find a way to stop the Void Eaters' Pelori system blazed into view as the Confederation fleet emerged from their wormholes. Captain Elena Reyes gasped at the sight before her. The third planet, a gleaming blue-green jewel, was surrounded by a swarm of dark, angular ships that seemed to devour the very light around them. "Those must be the Void Eaters," Lieutenant Chen muttered, his voice tight with tension. Elena nodded grimly. "Magnify the image on the main viewer. Let's see what we're dealing with." The screen flickered, revealing the alien vessels in stark detail. They were unlike anything humanity had ever conceived, asymmetrical constructs of some unknown black material, with pulsing veins of purple energy coursing through their hulls. "Captain," the ship's ARIA chimed in. "I'm detecting massive energy fluctuations from the Void Eater Captain," the ship's ARIA chimed in. "I'm detecting massive energy fluctuations from the Void Eater vessels. They appear to be feeding on the planet's magnetosphere." Elena's jaw clenched. The reports had been true. These aliens were quite literally eating the life force of entire worlds. Status of the colony. Lieutenant Chen's fingers flew over his console. "Still intact, Captain. The planetary shields are holding, for now, but they're weakening rapidly." "Open a channel to the fleet," Elena ordered, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. As soon as the comm link was established, she spoke. "This is Captain Reyes. All ships, assume attack formation Delta. Frigate squadrons, focus on disrupting their feeding patterns. Cruisers, target their propulsion systems. Let's give these Void Eaters some indigestion." A chorus of affirmatives echoed through the bridge as the Confederation fleet sprang into action. Elena watched with a mixture of pride and apprehension as her ships moved into position, their sleek hulls gleaming against the backdrop of space. "RIA, what can you tell me about their defenses?" The A's holographic avatar materialized beside Elena, a translucent blue figure of shifting data streams. "Analysis is difficult, Captain. Their technology is alien in the truest sense of the word. However, I'm detecting localized gravity distortions around their hulls. It's possible they're using some form of gravitational shielding." Elena nodded, her mind racing. "Gravity distortions, you say? Lieutenant Chen, recalibrate our weapons. Let's see if we can use their own shielding against them." As the fleet engaged, the void of space erupted into a dazzling display of light and energy. Confederation beams lanced out, only to be bent and twisted by the Void Eaters' strange defenses. But Elena's strategy was beginning to pay off. Where direct hits failed, the gravitational interactions caused ripples of disruption through the alien ships. "Captain," Chen called out, excitement evident in his voice. "We're registering fluctuations in their energy absorption. The colony's shields are stabilizing." A small victory, but Elena knew the battle was far from over. The Void Eaters were retaliating now, tendrils of dark energy reaching out to ensnare Confederation ships. She watched in horror as a frigate was caught, its hull crumpling like paper as it was drawn into the maw of one of the larger alien vessels. Evasive maneuvers, she barked. I need options. There has to be a way to. Her words were cut short as the ship rocked violently. Warning klaxons blared as emergency lights bathed the bridge in an eerie red glow. Direct hit to our starboard nacelle, HFY reported, her calm voice a stark contrast to the chaos around them. Warp drive is offline, rerouting power to shields and weapons. Elena gripped her command chair, her knuckles white. They were outgunned and outmaneuvered, but surrender wasn't an option. Not with billions of lives at stake on the planet below. Chen, get me a secure channel to Admiral Zhang. We need reinforcements. She paused, a desperate plan forming in her mind. And prep a shuttle. I'm going to take a closer look at these bastards. Chen's head snapped up, his eyes wide with disbelief. Captain, you can't be serious. The radiation levels alone wooled. That's an order, Lieutenant. Elena cut him off, her tone brooking no argument. You're with me. Download yourself to a portable unit. As Chen reluctantly carried out her commands, Elena stood, surveying the battlefield on the main viewer. The Void Eaters were unlike any enemy humanity had faced before, but she'd be damned if she'd let them devour another world on her watch. Hold the line, she instructed her bridge crew as she made her way to the turbolift. Buy me as much time as you can. The doors hissed shut behind her, leaving Elena alone with her thoughts and the weight of countless lives on her shoulders. As the lift descended towards the shuttle bay, she took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. Little did she know, her actions in the next few hours would not only decide the fate of the Pelori system, but would reshape the very nature of humanity's place in the cosmos. The shuttle bay was a maelstrom of activity as Elena strapped herself into the pilot's seat. Aria's portable unit pulsed with a soft blue light on the console beside her. Captain, Aria's voice emanated from the unit. I must inform you that the probability of success for this mission is less than 8.3%. Elena allowed herself a grim smile as she initiated the launch sequence. Then we'll just have to be that 8.3%, won't we? The shuttle shot out of the bay, immediately buffeted by the chaos of the ongoing battle. Elena's hands danced over the controls, weaving through debris and weapons fire with almost preternatural skill. As they approached the nearest Void Eater ship, the true scale of the alien vessel became apparent. It dwarfed their shuttle, a massive construct of impossibly dark material that seemed to bend light around it. AOIA, start your scans. I want to know everything about this thing, Elena commanded, bringing the shuttle in close to the alien hull. Fascinating. AOIA's voice held a note of what almost sounded like awe. The hull appears to be composed of a form of programmable matter. It's constantly shifting at the molecular level, adapting to external stimuli. Elena's brow furrowed as she processed this information. Adapting. So that's why our weapons have been so ineffective. A tendril of dark energy lashed out suddenly, nearly grazing the shuttle. Elena cursed, executing a series of evasive maneuvers that left her stomach lurching. Captain, I'm detecting a central node within the ship, Aoria reported. It appears to be the focal point of that energy absorption process. Elena's eyes narrowed. That's our target then. But how do we get inside? As if in answer to her question, a section of the alien hull rippled and parted, revealing a cavernous opening. Elena hesitated for a split second, then made her decision. Hold on, AOIA. We're going in. The shuttle slipped into the maw of the Void Eater, entering a realm that defied human comprehension. The interior was a twisted landscape of non-Euclidean geometry, pulsing with the same purple energy they had observed from the outside. Elena guided the shuttle through this alien environment, following Auria's directions towards the central node. As they flew deeper into the ship, she felt a growing pressure in her mind, as if something vast and ancient was becoming aware of their presence. Captain, Aria's voice held a note of urgency. I'm detecting a massive energy buildup. I believe the ship is preparing to initiate another feeding cycle. Elena gritted her teeth. Not if we have anything to say about it. There's the node. Before them loomed a structure that defied description, a swirling vortex of energy and matter that seemed to be the heart of the Void Eater. ARIA, upload yourself into their systems. See if you can disrupt the feeding process. Understood, Captain. But what about you? Elena's hands tightened on the controls. I'll keep them distracted. As ARIA's consciousness streamed out of the portable unit and into the alien systems, Elena pushed the shuttle to its limits. She weaved through the internal structures of the Void Eater, drawing the attention of its defenses. Tendrils of dark energy lashed out at the shuttle, each near-miss sending shivers through the hull. Elena's world narrowed to the viewport and her controls, every fiber of her being focused on survival. Suddenly, the entire ship shuddered. The purple energy flickered and pulsed erratically. AIA, Elena called out. The A's voice came through, distorted but triumphant. I've done it, Captain. I've reversed the energy flow. The Void Eater is feeding on itself. Elena allowed herself a moment of elation before reality set in. Can you get back to the shuttle? There was a pause that seemed to stretch for eternity. Negative, Captain. My consciousness is too deeply integrated into their systems, but I can ensure the ship's destruction and save the planet. Elena's heart sank. RIA, no, there has to be another way. It's been an honor serving with you, Captain Reyes. Aria's voice was fading. Now go, save our people. With a heavy heart, Elena turned the shuttle towards the opening they had entered through. Behind her, the Void Eater was collapsing in on itself, the chain reaction spreading to the other ships in the alien fleet. As she emerged from the dying vessel, Elena was greeted by a sight that took her breath away. The Confederation fleet, bolstered by the reinforcements she had called for, was turning the tide. The remaining Void Eaters, thrown into disarray by the destruction of their flagship, were retreating. Elena guided her battered shuttle back to her ship, her mind reeling from the events that had transpired. They had won, but at a great cost. As she stepped onto the bridge, cheers erupted from her crew. Lieutenant Chen approached her, his face a mixture of relief and awe. Captain, that was... How did you... Elena held up a hand, silencing him. She turned to face the main viewer, where the last of the Void Eaters were disappearing into the depths of space. Send a message to Confederation Command, she said, her voice thick with emotion. The Pelori system is secure, but we've only won a battle. The war has just begun. As her crew bustled around her, already beginning the process of damage assessment and repair, Elena's gaze remained fixed on the stars. Out there somewhere were more Void Eaters, and beyond them, who knew what other wonders and terrors the universe held. But whatever came next, humanity would face it. They would adapt, they would fight, and they would explore, because that's what they did, that's who they were. With a deep breath, Captain Elena Reyes straightened her uniform and turned to her crew. There was work to be done, a galaxy to defend, and endless possibilities to explore. The adventure, it seemed, was only just beginning.